It's that time again. It's Monday night. It's Car Stereo. It's Car Stereo Talk with your hosts, Dean and Fernando. Yay. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to Monday night. Welcome to everything that you hoped it could possibly be, and let's hope we deliver on it. It's that time again, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time every Monday. When we do this, we've been doing it for a very long time. Like a long time. It's crazy. And thank you guys for joining us on this crazy journey.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that we would spend our Monday nights talking to a bunch of people about Car Stereo? I mean,
years.
It's like 10 years.
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years.
Yeah,
I mean, this is
insane.
like we're into like ER territory now. It's like, how many years is this show going to go on for? Well, as long as you guys still watch, we're going to keep doing it. And with that being said, some of you guys belong to this little club we have. It's called the 12-Volt Clean Wire Club. And over on the 12-Volt Clean Wire Club, every Sunday, Fernando scours the page and finds somebody that did an exceptional job. And it's brought to you by the fine folks at D&F Tool Drawer.
That's right.
The home of the IRTA2 and some snazzy keychain. We do this every week, and we tell you guys about it.
Yeah.
And let's jump over to the page, and let's take a look at this. Okay, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I hate the colors.
I hate the colors.
I hate the colors so much. It drives me absolutely crazy. But who did this?
That was Chris.
Chris Vera?
Chris Vera.
Yeah, which makes me hate the colors even more. Listen, to each his own. I'm sure it matches the car and looks fantastic. And that's all that matters. Sometimes we have to do things that we just go, really? And yeah, okay, cool.
And probably they want something orange and blue because he also 3D printed a logo and a Marlboro
what?
Cigarette.
Marlboro. Yeah, Marlboro.
Yeah. Cigarette stops. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is
Don't
Chris,
smoke.
because I said to Chris, I said, this is so ugly. And he goes, yeah, but like this guy does this in all his cars, this color scheme.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it looks so
ugly.
No, what I'm saying is like it catches your attention right away.
And then you go, oh, that's gross.
Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. Not everyone is going to like it. All that matters is that the guy who paid for it likes it.
Yes, exactly.
And Chris was reassured me that the guy loved it. And so there you go. If you would like to be on this page, all you have to do is do a bang-up job on installation and then post a picture of it, and Fernando will hopefully find it. Because usually the cream rises to the top, I have to say. I mean, it's pretty spectacular. How was your weekend?
Oh, fantastic.
Was it?
We watch soccer all day.
There's soccer on?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Champions, Portugal won against Spain.
Ooh, that was a good fight.
That was a good fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. No, I watched TV all day.
Yeah.
I got up late, when I said I got up late, it's just I can't sleep in. I desperately want to sleep in, but my brain wakes up at 7:30, and it's like I will just like force myself to try to get a couple more sleep,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just miserable. And so finally, I just get up, and take a shower or go for a walk or do something, And yesterday after the graduation week, and we had a hoot nanny on Saturday night.
Oh, nice.
Not really. So I was tired. I was like, I don't want to be around anybody. So put on some Netflix and chill, so to speak. Although I don't think I ever actually watched Netflix. No, so I watched this really crappy movie called Mickey 17 that has the dude from vampire movie I have the cup for sitting over there, guy that was Batman.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yes. Yeah. The Twilight guy.
Yeah, Twilight guy.
Yeah.
So I had Twilight guy. It was absolutely terrible.
What's his name?
I don't know. Absolutely terrible.
Robert something?
Yeah, Patterson.
I was just guessing, I swear.
Yeah, anyways, who cares? So, watched that. Watched Predator, Killer of Killers. That's what it's called. It's a new cartoon.
Oh,
That's
cartoon.
fantastic.
I'm like, it's a new movie?
Well, there will be. So what they're doing is they're putting a ton of effort into this. It's like there's going to be a new series on aliens coming out. All kinds of craziness. So it's great.
A documentary? Or
No. It's movies, bro. Movies and TV series. So there's a whole bunch of nonsense coming out. All right. Well, that's great. Now, everyone's like, "Yay, Dean! Good for you." I mowed the grass. Good evening, Dean and Fernando. I'm assuming you're going to have a great show. I got no questions, but I enjoy watching the show, learning what I can. Dave, we enjoy having you. We know you're regular. I recognize your face. Thank you for tuning in. Thank all of you for tuning in that want to listen to the nonsense that this is. Good evening, everyone. 83 stormy tonight in Athens, Georgia. I'm ready for who's ready for winter? I'm ready. Okay. Who's? Let me rephrase that. Who's ready for fall? Fall, because you guys, our winter's your fall. Okay, so who's ready for fall?
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of you guys like this heat and crap. Good evening, everyone.
Who's ready for Saturday?
I'm ready for Saturday. Friday is Haley's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Yeah, she's gonna be 26.
Are you gonna
Good evening.
A surprise?
What?
A surprise for her?
I'm not kicking her out. Surprise. Good afternoon. Cool. 68 overcast. Is it? I mean, that sounds 68 sounds wonderful. I'm ready for that.
60 is good.
I could deal with that. Good afternoon from a warm 87. Jesus.
Wow.
That's like shorts weather for you guys. I mean,
Seattle
that's
awesome.
like thong and all that. Watching this sitting on my porch with the rain.
Fantastic.
That sounds great. I love like that cool breeze you get from the rain.
Right?
Oh, it's so nice.
Insanely relaxed.
Yeah, it's so good. I agree. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good day. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Sup, guys?
What's up?
Hello. What would be better, a stereo with 4-volt RCA from a known brand or a stereo with optical output from a not-so-known brand? Well, this is a good question, actually, because if we're to assume that all things are created equal, which would be a terrible assumption, like we know that's a terrible assumption because we know all things are not created equal.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that some manufacturers have been putting Toslink on their units just because. Okay. Now, you can look at the spec on the Toslink, and it might be okay, which would be what I'd look at. What is the throughput? Is it 48? Is it 96? It's probably 96. And then, okay, what are we doing? Like, what are we going to? All right. So are we going to a DSP? And is that DSP a good DSP that actually has a good Toslink input on it? Is it going to actually make sense? Now that Kenwood has Toslink on the back of their radios, we have an awesome radio that we can buy with the Toslink. So the 1058 and the 2 direct replacements both have Toslink output. Now, do we need a 4-volt? Okay, so as we just said, not all DSPs are created equal. So not all DSPs Toslink input is very good. Sometimes it sucks. Like it could be bad. We've worked with plenty of them. We're like, nope, we're just going to run RCAs. And that's where you run into a problem now, is that you have a radio that doesn't have a good preamp section or tons of crosstalk or has a 0.5 volt or some badness. And you're like, oh, I got to default back to that. And, of course, has a crappy DA converter in it that's doing it internally. That's why for years we've been saying, like, the 9 series and like the Sonys and the Kenwoods and some of the Alpines, they have really good DACs in them that are doing this conversion and throughputting it to the RCAs. Plus, there's no noise in these radios most of the time, so we don't have to worry about noise. So what's the point is what I'm getting at. In my world, in my mind, is I want something with a good preamp section because if nothing else, if all of it goes to shit, I will have a good preamp section that I can work with. Does that make sense? Does that work for you?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
I don't even know what you're saying, but yeah. Are you going to do your...
Yes, I do want to do my thing. It is that time. And I will pull this up here. I will pull this up here.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're going to do this guy first because they're always last, and I don't know why. But we're going to talk about Moscone-America.com. Moscone, do you know, Fernando, Moscone this year has come out with 2 new series of speakers?
No.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, I'm just
You could just say yes. I need you to say yes to this one.
Yes.
Have you seen them? Have you been over to the page and spec them out?
Yes, I actually touched them.
So it's Zeta and Sigma.
Yes.
And they're both a la carte, which is fantastic, which means you can custom design your high-end stereo system and buy only the speakers that you have holes for and that you feel you want to do. So if you want to do a 3-way set, fantastic.
Mhm.
Order the speakers to do a 3-way set.
Yeah.
If you want to do a 2-way set, fine. Order the speakers to do a 2-way set. And as always, they have award-winning first-in-class DSP amplifiers that you can power them with, such as the little Pico right here. So make sure to check them out at Moscone-America.com or Gladen.com if you really want to dig into it.
Yep.
Thank you for being a proud sponsor of Car Stereo Talk with Dean and Fernando.
Yes.
Okay. How do you deal with tuning a center channel in a BMW? Do you turn it down again? You know, it's funny because we just had this. We had a BMW that came in, and he did a Audio-Tech Fisher. What's that? What's the
Match.
Match system, and he did the Helix speakers along with some match speakers. So we filled all the holes. We powered up all the speakers, and it was upmixed, so it had a center. And when we were done doing what they were like, just do this, and we got in it, and we're like, it sounds like shit. Really did. It sounded bad. So we went into it, and then we were like, let's treat it like anything else. Let's go at it, and let's EQ it. Okay, so we EQ'd the whole car on top of whatever they had done, which honestly didn't take that long. It just needed a little bit of work because it was very lifeless and dull. And then, of course, we spent a lot of time with the center channel, adjusting the levels on all the corners of the car and the center channel until we got to the sound. Now, the reason why you have to do that is because it is an upmix center, meaning there is information removed from the left and right that is only heard in the center channel. So you can't negate it. You have to keep it in there. And it's one of those things where you're going to have to sit in the car and use your ear microphones to get the balance to where it sounds good. Now, the nice thing is if you want to keep it BMW style above the gauge cluster, above the airbag, it's easy enough to do, but you still have to make sure that what we will call timbre or sound stage sounds the same across the front of the car. You don't want it to be like, and then it'll sound weird. So there is no, like, you do this. What you have to do is install it and then tune it, EQ it, and then sit in it and play with the levels until you get it right. Now, because it's upmixed, don't do time alignment because it's already done. So you're just going to be playing with levels and equalization, and that's it. You may need to tap some of the crossovers depending on what speakers you're putting in versus what is going on. But other than that, yeah, it's a fun experience. Let me tell you what, it's not fun, but it is fun. It's always great when it works in the end. Good day, Brad. It's okay. It's okay. We're just happy you're here.
That's right.
Because the crowd would miss you if you weren't.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I say good day. I love that. That's the best. That is the only musical I will watch.
Okay.
Yeah, you know the Christmas one. With,
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds
Yeah.
and the other dude.
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby. Hola, amigos. Missed you in Atlantic City. No, you didn't. We were there. Did you? We were just mingling with all the crowd. You couldn't see us because we were hiding.
We were in there.
We got lost in the crowd.
Hello,
Luis. Watching
Portugal.
from Facebook today. Oh, how was vacation? Nobody went on vacation yet. It was just Haley's graduation. Vacation is actually the end of the month. We're looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just had to take 2 days off to go to do Haley's graduation. It was out of town because her college is, out of town. So it was very stressful, to say the least.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. So, we'd never been to this camp. We haven't been to this campus in like, I hadn't been there in 10 years, I think.
Okay.
And she hadn't been there in probably 8 years because everything was online.
Yeah.
So the campus has changed so much. So Thursday night, we took the car. Her and I took the car and we drove to the campus to figure out where everything was going to be.
Okay.
That way, because we knew that everyone was going to ask, the girls, the parents, everyone was going to be asking, where's it at? What are we doing? How do we get there? What time do we have to be?
Right.
And Haley would just stress the hell out. So I was like, she's like, let's go to the campus. And I go, let's go. So we hopped in our rented Kia and figured out where everything was at. So we knew right where to go the next morning. Right. It was fantastic.
I think that's the best way when you have something like that.
Oh yeah, yes. It was it went so well because of that.
All right. Ready?
Yeah. Right. If you're not a car audio expert, do you think you should still need to go with a DSP? Or do you think a good system without one will be more than enough to satisfy me? Okay, so that is an interesting question. Okay, it's a very interesting question, and I love it when you guys throw these. And I'm sure when he read it, he was like, "Oh, Dean's gonna love this." Maybe not, but anyways. All right, so this is the Eddie Murphy cracker. Okay. Eddie Murphy does a joke about a saltine cracker. When you're starving on an island and someone hands you a cracker, that is the best cracker in the world. And you, oh my God, you lick your fingers and it's like, and you want another and another. And you're just so happy to have something, right? But then they give you a Ritz cracker. And then you realize you were just eating a shitty cracker. It's like, oh my God, it's like this was trash. It's just regular saltine cracker. Okay. So what I mean by that is if you've never heard a car that has been DSP'd or somebody has put some effort into, and the only thing you know is basic audio, then more than likely you're going to be happy because you have no point of reference to like judge it by. You're not going to get in your car and go, oh, this sounds like crap, because you don't know what sounds good. Now, I don't mean you. I'm just saying in general, okay? Right. You have no idea what sounds good, what sounds bad. You're just going for the ride, right? Now, if you do have some discerning taste in audio, which I'm assuming most people that are here kind of do, well, then you're going to be disappointed because you know it can sound better. And that is usually what drives you guys to like buy the next set of speakers or buy a different amplifier or buy another set of tweeters or get different subwoofers, because it's not ticking that box of joy that you're hoping for. And that's where the DSP comes in. Now, if you're like, I don't want to learn any of this crap, then you just settle. Meaning you're like, I'm going to eat this saltine cracker. I really don't care that there's other club crackers and Ritz crackers and pretzel crackers. I don't care about any of that. I just going to eat a cracker. I might dip it in some stuff. Who knows? I doubt it. So this is one of those things where it's like, you have to decide. Our customers come to us because they're like, I want it to be amazing. And then you deliver on that. And the DSP allows us to deliver on that because we can take care of the problems that might occur by just doing plain audio. Now you don't need to go crazy. It's like you buy a DSP, you play with it. You don't like everyone just attacks things. And it's like, listen, don't do that. Get a DSP, and it's going to be a long game. All right. You might set some crossovers, may try the time alignment. And then you're going to like, hey, maybe I'll try some of this EQ stuff. And then I'll start playing with some frequencies. I'm like, oh, that sounds a little better, And you might be happy. And then you might, in a couple weeks, go back at it and say, let me see if I can tweak it just a little bit more. Now, the nice thing is you could save everything you do. So if you screw something up, you just load a preset. Load the last setting you had, and you go home and, you drink a beer and get on with your life. So it just depends on how involved you want to be in your system. What kind of crackers do you want?
For me, it's like it's worth it. It is worth it.
I'm over here like trying to relate to people. Fernando's just like, no, just do it, man. Listen, what the hell?
Just do it. Yes, a good system is gonna sound great for most of the people. But when you hear or heard a DSP, a really good DSP, right? A tuning. Oh my God, it changed your life. Seriously. And you might be like, I'm not an expert. I'm not gonna do it. I don't know. Just play with that. You know, the only thing you have to do is just
And you won't
do
go
your
blind.
crossovers, and you don't blow speakers, and then just go at it. Yeah, just buy a
Oh,
DSP.
Steve throws this out. Who was the first to market with DSP? And that's a good question.
Pioneer.
Probably. The DSP's been around in some form for a very long time.
Yeah.
We would need some of the old car stereo nerds to answer this question, like a Jeff or a Brian or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've
maybe
talked.
Brad.
Maybe Brad.
Yeah.
Brad's old, but I don't. Who knows?
Oh wow! I didn't say
dude,
that.
He's literally my age.
He's very knowledgeable.
Yeah, and he's old.
He has a.
We're both old. Anyways.
Yeah.
The DSP's been around at some form for a very long time.
Yeah.
So
it's been around.
Have a Ritz with salami and cheese.
Yeah, I love that.
Turkey salami.
It tastes really good.
Rockford Fosgate did have an older DSP. Yep,
yeah,
but I think there was something long before. I think Sony or somebody had one long before that. 80 PRS is not a DSP. It's just an old crappy Pioneer radio.
It is just it's a good radio. It was a good radio.
Okay, I love this one. Can you get car audio to sound as good as headphones? So, if so, what setup do you recommend? There isn't a headphone on the planet that can sound as good as a
car audio.
Okay, and don't get me wrong. No, there isn't. Listen, I've heard super expensive headphones. I have really nice headphones, and I can tell you right now, when this is done,
but that's what I'm going.
Better than,
for example, he might. It's like, hey, man.
You could have some stacks, bro.
Like the other question that he
never
said,
gonna be anywhere near
a regular system, right?
What are we talking, like crappy factory stuff?
No, or just 5-channel amplifier, whatever.
Yeah, I could still make a front stage upgrade, kick the shit out of a good set of headphones. I mean, headphones are very. Listen, you can't get to even with an open back planar or a straight speaker like some. You can't get that room that you get with a car stereo. You just can't get it. And everything just kind of like
go in the closet, close your eyes, and that's it.
And trust me, I watch all the headphone reviews guys for years, and it's like I
into it
bought a lot of headphones, and it's great if that's the world you're living in, but no, it's not going to happen. No? It's just hell no, man. Did you say that the Kenwood 1058 has a new bracket that allows it to sit closer to the dash than the 1057? When could we see some of the industry guys in the Bay to chat, Jeff, Chris? So that's two questions there. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first part of the question is the 1058 bracket's different than 1057. Yes, they're totally different. And in the next 2 weeks, we'll have our unboxing of the 1058 so that you guys will be able to see it. We'll compare it to the 1057 so that we're going to do a bunch of different videos comparing the two because I know this is one of those things you guys are going to really want to see. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be working on those so that you guys will have that information. Now, as far as people that come in and sit here between us or where Fernando's sitting and he's out of screen, it's just a matter of time, okay? Timing. Can we get them here? Are they here? That's it. It's we got to have them in there. Anytime we get anyone that is remotely close, we'd love to have people in here. We also like to do people live. A lot of the people we try to get live, they're on the other coast, and so it's a 3-hour difference. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon when they need to do this. Some of them are at work and can't get off. So that's why we save them for like a Saturday or something. But we're constantly looking for people to come on the show. We enjoy having guests. You guys, on the other hand, get kind of annoyed when we have guests because we totally ignore the questions. So that's why we have to do them on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday to where it's not interfering with these Q&A shows because unless they're taking the questions, like when we have Mary Lou on, we just have questions and have her help us answer the questions, which I enjoy doing that. But like if we're not doing that, you guys are like, what the hell? So it's kind of fun. Yeah. So it's very like we have to play very nice on this one.
Or we could go with a new one.
Yeah. I'm gonna do this. And speaking of the last guest we had on, we had Mr. Gary Bell from Audio Control, aka Stinger, on to talk about some new products. He showed us the new Epic subwoofer. I love it when we get these guys on to do this stuff. And yeah, so if you're interested in checking out some really awesome car audio, head over to audiocontrol.com.
Audiocontrol.com.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Let's do speed round here. What Morel speakers would be similar equivalent to the Focal Flax Evo? Focal Flax. That would be the what's the ones you had?
Hybrids.
That'd be the hybrids.
Yeah.
Okay. So hybrids. Next. All right. The speed round, man. Dean, what? Yeah, got that one. Just put the same question twice. Have you guys been able to ask to put 3-inch mids in the dash of a 2014 Silverado? And if so, how hard is it to do? No, we haven't been asked. Is that the one that already has the 2.5 in the dash? I don't remember. If it is, then we've already done it. And it's not that hard. You do have to grind. But I don't know what the 14 dash looks like. I know the one that has the 2.5s in the top of the dash are kind of angled. You can get 3.5s in there if you go at it with a grinder. Happy Monday! Thanks, Eduardo.
Happy Monday, Eduardo.
What are you guys doing to RAM? Putting in stuff in it. Car stereo stuff. Okay, next question.
All right.
Keep going, man. Okay. Top of the line Stinger Horizon 12.3 or top of the line Kenwood 1058 XR. Come on, really? Okay, so this is a tough one. However, it's going to depend on what you're trying to do. One of the nice things about the Stinger Horizon is that if you're going to do audio control DSP, you can control it from the radio. So you can do, adjustment from there. They both have Toslink output. Obviously, the 12.3 inch is a big screen. So if you're looking for hugeness, there you go. Another feature that the Horizon has that the Kenwood doesn't, has 8 preamp outputs as opposed to 6 preamp outputs. So there's definitely things that are happening between the two. So features, it's really just going to come down to features and what features you feel you need. But they're both great. Okay, next. Can head unit voltage clip like speaker outputs? Yes, 100%. Years ago, we used to do a series of videos that were radio dynos, where we would dyno the speaker to see when it would clip. And pretty much everyone's radio, with the exception of Kenwood, would clip at some point. Like Pioneer would always clip at 38. And Alpine would always clip at like 39 or 40, like right before the last one. Kenwood is smart enough to design their preamp section so that the clip happens long after they run out of steam on the volume knob. So yeah, preamps definitely can clip. Okay.
Somebody say
Panasonic.
Panasonic?
Sure, I don't know.
That's
Next question. Yeah, it could be. I mean, okay, you already asked me that. Asking for help setting a DSP D61200 for setting Dean and Fernando. I can go to you guys, please. That is a very broad question, and there's a ton of, I don't know how to answer this because there's not enough question there.
But if you can come to us and, have more questions, yes, you can come to the store. You can talk to Dean. You can talk to Paul. Then, yeah, we can do a DSP.
The 2014 has a 2.5 or 2.75 dash. Yeah, so what you have to do is you have to have a grinder. It's like a 30-degree grinder. Okay, I use an Air one that I got at the cheap tool store. And you have to grind towards the outside of the vehicle, okay, not towards the inside. And what it does is you'll make the hole a little bigger, and it'll move it all to the side. I believe you can get, if you do it properly, you can get one of the factory screws, and then you have to tap and do the secondary screw on your own. If you're just trying to put them in the factory spots without going too crazy. Hello, guys. I have a 2021 Dodge Challenger, and I would like to get a quote on a stereo install. I have Kenwood 6x9 component. Okay, easy enough way to do that is whatever you have and whatever you would like to do, put in an email and spell it all out, 5starcarstereo@gmail.com. That'll go directly to Paul. He will take a look at it. If he needs to, we'll take a look at it, and he'll get back to you with a quote. So that is, just spell it out, 5starcarstereo@gmail.com, and he'll just put everything you want, pictures, whatever you got. I'm planning an audio system upgrade in a 2019 Honda Fit EX. Okay. It's a 105 amp alternator. How much wattage for 2-channel, 4-channel, and a monoblock? How much combined wattage can I safely add? So this is one of those questions where it's like, okay, what are we trying to do? I mean, you could easily put something like an Arc Audio Blackbird in this, which is their 8-channel 1,000-watt amplifier that'll do everything. Like you can power a front stage, tweeters, mid bass. It's 8 channels. You can make it a 7-channel if you want, and it'll go fine in that alternator configurations and give you tons of bass. Just go with smaller, more efficient magneted subwoofers. Like we did one in a Nissan Titan recently where it powered the whole system with 210s. We just went with P210s, very efficient Rockford subwoofer. It sounded fantastic. I mean, it was a ton of bass. So, you have to go the other way. It's like, how much, don't worry about, it's like, okay, so I know I can't put a ton of power in it. Let's put speakers and let's put subwoofers in there, and that will work with smaller amounts of power and still give you tons of sound. That's where efficiency comes in. So, you could get some very nice sound out of the car with a 1,000-watt Blackbird or with something along those lines and not have to worry about anything. It'll play all day long. Comparing AudioFrog GB and Arc Audio RS, how would you describe the difference in sound? I don't have anywhere near me to listen to either in person. Going off your videos, for a 2021 F-150 active 3-way. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, putting that tweeter in that is going to be tough. Either one of those tweeters. They're both big tweeters. I think the GB, Andy sells the GB with a Ford F-150 mount, which might make your life a little bit easier. There again, the dash is a 3-inch, but it's a very narrow, it's very small, compact 3-inch in the dash. The RS might not fit in the top of the dash. So you might end up going with AudioFrog just because of size, unless you're planning on making like panels, like A-pillars and stuff like that. If you are, well, then go crazy. I mean, they're both fantastic. I mean, Brian would say RS all the way. Don't be silly. But that's that. What's up, fellas? I was wondering if I accidentally damaged my Tempo Ultra 6.5 components by having the high pass at 50 hertz. I was giving them 75 watts per channel. Thanks for all the help. It really just comes down to, okay, 75 or 50 is not totally tragic. It just depends on, like, what do they sound like now? I mean, are they crackling? Did you get a weird sound out of them? I mean, if they were never playing anything with a ton of bass, you're not going to damage them. It's just they're fine. If you have a subwoofer, you never want to cross them over 50 hertz. But like Fernando's car has no subwoofer, and he's running Tempo Ultras with no high pass crossover on them. But there again, he doesn't have 75 watts coming to them. He's just got deck power. So it just really depends on do they sound weird now? Because if they don't, then no, he didn't do anything to them. So,
I think I crossed the hybrids.
Oh yeah, so
so low too.
Yeah,
and they were fine. So
Arc Audio also makes the AS series,
the new speakers,
the new AS, which would fit fine in the F-150 to 3-way configuration. If you're talking about the 3-way unleash system, those would drop right into that with no problem. So there's that. Thank you, Brad, for pointing that out. I forgot about that. I know.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know.
All right, so what would you recommend? Anything?
For what? So I got to know what kind of headphones he's listening to. I mean, there's tons of different headphones. Is he a plain R guy? Is he a speaker guy? Does he like tinny headphones? Does he have open backs? Yeah, exactly. Does he have open backs? Does he have closed backs? There's a ton of headphones out there that have a totally different, just like speakers. I mean, you can go down the headphone rant, or use an amplifier on your headphones, or you're just coming out of a computer. I mean, do you have a tube amp? Do you have a straight? There's a million things that you can do, just like you can in car audio. So it's just going to depend. And there again, how much, if you buy a $2,500 set of headphones,
$2,500.
Okay.
Yes.
You're not going to get a stereo for $2,500. It's going to do is, you know what I mean? You get close, but it's on a sliding scale. You know, you need way more power, way more speakers, way more stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's just it. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It is. Is an expensive DSP better than a budget DSP? For example, PBR DSP is about $120. Yeah, whatever. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Okay. So, all right. I don't know about you, but when I go to wipe my butt, I like to use Charmin, okay, or Angel Soft. I do not buy store brand, and I don't buy Scott's because it's cheaper, but it chaps your ass. It's not very good. Now, some people wipe their butt with whatever they have. That's perfectly okay. So the moral to that is that a more expensive DSP will outperform a budget DSP. It's not the same stuff. I mean, everything, there's a good, better, best in life on everything. All right. And DSPs are no different.
Yeah.
There is 10,000 different DSP chips. There's probably not 10,000. There's a bunch of different DSP chips and configurations and everything. It's not even a thing. Now, if your budget is $120, we'll do it. You know, get a DSP, start playing with it. But no, that will not be the last DSP you will own. Now, if you can save up to get a more expensive DSP, well, then, yeah, you're going to be happier. Because there are things that a cheap DSP just will not have. But I can tell you what it will have is noise and crosstalk. And that makes setting up a DSP really hard. And that's okay.
Yes.
Angel Soft for the win. Okay.
All right.
I didn't expect that analogy today. I just didn't want to call it what you wipe your butt for. Okay, because
Yeah,
I mean that's really what it is. I was trying to be nice. What does it say when all the dorm buildings they made me live in have been gutted or torn down? I knew they were shitholes, but had to do it.
In the dorms, like Haley's.
Yeah. Haley's dorm was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Her dorm was across the street from $1 million apartments. Because she was in downtown St. Pete by the water. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted to live in her dorm.
USF right here, right?
Yeah. St. Pete. Yeah. I wanted to live in her dorm.
It's really nice.
Because it was like, dude, this, you're sitting there and you hear these Lambos going up the street. And you're like, and she just was like, yeah, man, I hear Lambos all the time. I go, well, you better get a really good job then.
And we party a lot in St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
It's a lot of clubs.
So you can
there.
be flying through you and your Lambo. Hey, guys, have...
Hey, guys.
Yeah, read that
all
one.
Right.
I got to do this. Okay.
No, so do that one first, and then we put pause. All right, go for it.
Hey.
Do
you know what time it is? It's summertime. And that means one thing. It's summer of moto. That's right. If you have a vehicle that you want to get a suntan on, such as a Harley Davidson, a side-by-side, or anything like that, where you'd like to get out there and experience what it is to have the wind in your face, then you need to look at the line of moto products from Arc Audio. That's right. They have everything you need from speakers, amplifiers, and DSPs to make those
power kits,
amp mounting brackets, all that fun stuff. Make your life easier and make it more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. Check them out at arcaudio.com. Just click on the tab and look at moto.
Give them a call.
Or you can just text them directly from the website. You don't even have to call them. There is a thing that annoyingly pops up and says, how can we help you?
Yes.
And it's like, go away. My analogies are on point, Mary Lou. All right, bring that one back. Hey, guys. Whoa. Hey, guys. One more time. Have you had a chance to use the recoil? No. Basically a handheld. No, we both have them. And we paid for them a lot. And no, it has been one of those tools that I saw it in Fernando's toolbox the other day, and I was like, oh, yeah. And I still have mine in a box somewhere. I don't even know where it went. I know that sounds terrible. And I told myself, hey, I really need to start using this because I paid money for it and a lot of money. But I get in it's like, I don't know. We need to. Honestly, most people hear better than they think. Oh yeah,
What?
for sure. He says, well, you don't. Do you guys think Pioneer 80 PRS is better than the DS18 that comes with a built-in DSP?
Today is a DSP talk.
So I mean, if we're all right, so if we're looking at now and then, I mean,
Another
like right.
analogy is coming up.
No, I'm just saying. No analogy. I'm just saying if we're talking about the heyday of the PRS 80,
yeah,
or whatever this DS18 thing is now, I don't know. I mean, I honestly never liked the 80 PRS.
Inputs and outputs are what change pricing.
Sure. Probably DSP.
I think also the quality, right? The components of, because you can have a crazy cheap DSP that has 12 channels, but it's crappy.
No
right?
way. Tony logged in and shredded it. Oh, that's crazy. Listen, Tony's a really smart guy.
Yeah.
And like, I love talking with Tony because you just really like, he is a really, really smart guy. And like when you left and it was just me, Juan, and I think Haley.
Yeah.
And he was talking about his math class that he's taking right now.
Right.
And I'm just like,
calculus?
No, God, no. This is like, he's taken all of the classes in math that you're capable to take.
Possible?
Yeah, and he's on his last one, I think.
That's
I think
crazy.
it's the last one and this one is just like, he's like, basically this class tells you that all the math you've learned up to this point is utterly useless. It's just yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, he made a really good piece, and yeah, he doesn't probably like somebody else's. That's totally understandable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Without a DSP and using an epicenter and 2 amplifiers, what is the best way to split the full range signal? Y splitters?
Sure. Believe it or not, sound is AC current, so you can put 1,000,000 Y splitters in there. Don't put 1,000,000 Y splitters. You can put as many Y splitters in there as you want, and it's not going to affect the output voltage at all.
We tested
it. And it was one of those things where it was like common sense, because think about it like this. When you buy an extension cord that has 3 ends on it, it's the same thing. You plug it into the wall, and guess what? Everything gets 110.
Just get a good splitter. Don't get a crappy one,
Yeah, so the problem is finding good RCAs, just buy matching ones. But yeah, no, you're fine. You can split it, go to town. Yeah. Obviously, a DSP would allow you to do that. What are your thoughts? Or if you don't want to go DSP, they probably don't make it anymore. Never mind. All right, moving on. What are your thoughts on the Stinger 2, 4, and 5 channel White Power Sports and the car? And for the car, they seem to make good power, have good DC. Are we talking about the little white ones that are like this big that they've had forever?
Yeah, I think so.
Those are really nice little amplifiers.
Hey, Ruben.
The only like that was ever with those was the plug and the wires, but I think they fixed that as time went on. But they were kind of janky.
Yeah.
But I think as the evolution of the amplifier, all that stuff got addressed, because that amplifier they've been making for a very long time. Very long time. I even put one of those in Sue's dad's boat, one of the boats he owned.
I remember you told me.
We did a video on it. I did a video on it.
That's right.
Yeah, I had to drive out there, put it in to do a video on it.
Yeah.
It was like, boats suck.
What do you think about the Zapco DSPs?
I'm not up to speed on the current Zapco DSPs. However, I do know that they have several different DSPs, meaning different software to run DSP. Like when Chris was here, we had the affordable little amplifier DSPs. Those are running a version of the Chinese software that everybody uses in their DSP, which is a solid software. I've said it a million times. It's solid software. But I think like their higher end DSP runs a different type of software. I've never really gotten into it. Years ago, they sent us one, and we could never get it. Like, we couldn't use the software. So we just put it on the shelf, and it sat there ever since. So I don't really know what they're up to right now. But you could probably reach out to Chris Bennett and he could help you with that.
So what he's trying to say is, no, puedes llamar a Zapco y hablar con Chris Bennett y él te puede ayudar. DSP son buenos. Download the software y juega con él a ver qué te parece.
Yeah, the Lumi oscilloscopes are gone. Similar price alternatives. I got this. So there's one on.
Oh wow!
So this is a DS2
211.
Yeah. This little guy right here. This is a pretty solid little DSP. I'm sorry, a little oscilloscope. If you need an oscilloscope, there's a bunch of them that are like this now that are super cheap. Just get the ones with the color screen.
Yeah.
They're cheap too. I mean, you can get an oscilloscope for almost nothing. Focal Flax 3-way set. Yes. 3-way. Since the crossover has set frequency ranges built in, where do you start with your amp and head unit crossovers? Some that basically make 3 crossovers of one set of speakers. Okay, so if we're going with the passive crossovers, and this applies to anybody's stuff, this isn't just unique to them. So if you're going to be using the passive crossover in a 3-way set is going to have what we call a bottom for the tweeter, meaning the lowest frequency the tweeter will play. It's going to have a band pass for the mid-range, meaning it's going to not play up into the tweeter range, and it's not going to play down in the mid-range, the mid-bass range. It's going to have a top and a bottom, meaning a band pass, okay, a gate. And then it's going to have a top filter for the mid bass, meaning this is as high as it'll play. It won't play into the mid-range frequencies. Okay. So this is how it builds the crossover. So what that passive crossover does not have is the bottom to create the bandpass for the mid bass. That's where your amplifier or radio will come in, and you're going to want to put it somewhere around 80 hertz. Okay. And that is going to create the bandpass for the mid bass using all of passive crossover network all the way through. Now, if you're going to go full active, meaning I'm taking the passive crossover and I'm throwing it away, I'm going to put 6 channels of amplification in my car, a channel for the tweeters, a channel for the mid-range, and a channel for the mid-bass. Well, then that is going to be handled through the processor that you're going to be installing and or the amplifier. But the amplifier has to have bandpass filters built into it because you have to recreate that passive scenario, just now active. So in the case of that speaker, you'd be like 5,000 hertz and up on the tweeter. You'd be 5,000 to 350 on the mid-range and 350 to 80 on the mid-bass, all 24 dB Linkwitz Riley. But to go back, if you're just using passive and you have a radio or an amplifier, set it to 80 hertz. Be done.
Does it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it is what it is. Whatever that means. Is it true if you run a sub amp at 2 ohms instead of 1, your sub sounds cleaner? Oh, sounds this cleaner? Question. Okay, so here's the thing. Technically, no, but there's a but. There's always a but, right?
Yes, it is.
Because, we like big butts and we cannot lie. Okay, so let's take this scenario right here. And all right, so if I go out and I buy a 1,500 watt amp and I run it at, it's 1,500 watts at 1 ohm, and I run it at 2 ohm, so it only puts out 750 watts. Okay, it is going to draw the same amount of current, maybe less, than if I bought a 750 watt amp and run it at 1 ohm. Okay. Now, the problem is if I take the 1,500 watt, because 750 watts is 750 watts, guys. It really doesn't matter, right? It's the same. What we're looking at is, okay, do we stress the amplifier? Like some of these more affordable amplifiers don't necessarily have great power built into them. So like power supplies are kind of janky. They're not really efficient. and they can fall apart. So if I stress that amplifier, in at one ohm, then is it going to sound as good as if I took a bigger amplifier and ran it at lesser? And now that amplifier is isn't as stressed, is really what we're talking about. The problem is battery voltage. Okay, so all of that is battery voltage. If I've only got 500 watts of battery voltage, then it really doesn't matter whether I have a 750.1 at 1 ohm or I have a 1500 that does at 2 ohm that's doing 750. I don't have power for either one of the amplifiers. Okay, so that's the issue. Now, we've said before, like, hey, if you're going to buy that 1500 watt amp, maybe instead of running it at 1 ohm, run it at 2 ohm. They call it headroom, so to speak. And it will sound better than that 750 watt amp stressed out at 1 ohm. That's probably true. What's wrong? Is it doing
just
stupid
so
stuff?
Blurry, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, Monday.
Sorry, guys.
We try. You can always watch the rebroadcast tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Okay. I have a 99 Mustang.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm willing to take a chance on a Lenswell 15-inch T-style radio. Can you recommend someone to do a custom setup to include moving the AC controls to the bottom?
No.
I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody is, but we don't know where you're located.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea. There's plenty of people that can do it, but the real thing is regardless of whether you're willing to spend the money, is, that's going to be expensive for sure. So if if it's a show car and you want to do that, then there's plenty of guys that can, that can do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Would it be a bad thing if the Kenwood, Alpine, or Sony made a pro model radio with 14-channel RCAs with all the features of a DSP? I don't think you're ever going to see that from any of them. Like,
no,
it's definitely not going to see that from any of them. It doesn't even make sense in their world. That's not where they're headed. I mean, Alpine has a DSP, but I don't think they're ever going to put it into the radio. It just doesn't make sense. Talking with them, that definitely doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Did somebody say summertime? Yeah, it's 104 in Vegas, 3% humidity, hot and dry. It's brutal. Yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, I can feel you. I can't wait to get out there and just dry up. Ugh.
Yeah.
The amp rack was made by Roger. The clamps are were my design. LOL. Custom. Yep. Okay, so Roger built the amp rack, not Chris. Chris just posted the amp rack.
It's Roger.
Roger's the guy who built the amp rack. It's literally, it was right there.
Okay. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You want to change the...
Yeah, I can do that. I want to run audio control altitude amplifiers, but the 1.3 ohm is bugging me. But everyone I've spoken to who has it says it's once
just fine.
Yeah, it is. It works fine. Yeah, it's okay. Do it. Yeah, you're trying to do the 3-sub gimmick? I mean, yeah, go for it. We tested all those amplifiers for them, and they all worked fantastic. So, yeah, it's all good.
It's true.
Yeah, no, we listen. We tested all their amps with all the loads and all this other crap, and they're fine. They all worked out. No, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not as easy as everyone thinks to do that. So that's why we tested them for them, because they needed it, and the new ones are fine, or the current ones are all good. These are prototyping, like last year sometime. So no, they all work like they're supposed to. So give it a shot. Okay, so this is how do I hook up a three-way with the Kicker 200.4 active? You can't. You literally can't. Because three-way active is 6 channels. You have 4 channels. Can't do it.
You can do 4 active.
You can do 4 active. You can't do 6. In order to go active, you have to have the number of channels corresponding to the number of speakers. The only thing that you can do is go passive on the mid-range and tweeter and active on the mid-bass. In order to do that, you have to have a passive crossover for the mid-range and the tweeter to go between them. So, like for example,
you cannot do it the opposite side, right? Go active on the tweeter just because it's the high frequency, and then just put no.
No, it wouldn't work. But no, you don't have enough channels to go active on that. Wouldn't work.
Okay.
It's okay. Next.
Hide it.
Okay, I was waiting on you. Does a 10-inch floating screen look ridiculous in a GMC truck? Well, it depends on the GMC truck and what year, because, I mean, no, it doesn't, because the dash kit looks really nice in that. It's kind of inset. But, I mean, if you want one that looks perfectly flush, you have 2 options. One, you can do, if you want a 10-inch, you have the Stinger High 10 dash kit that goes in there, makes it look really nice. Or if you don't have that one, you can do an 8-inch direct replacement from Kenwood.
Depends what truck you have.
Depends what truck you have. But like the 8-inch the direct replacement 8-inch, which works on pretty much all of them. The last 2 body styles looks fantastic because it's a perfect fit. But if you want a big 10-inch, then the perfect fit on the previous dash, one has the screen and the air conditioning controls and whatnot, not the one that's like this tombstone looking thing. The High 10 looks gorgeous in that with that dash kit that they make for that. So.
All right. So
hold on. Ken's got a question here. It says, do you think it would be possible for manufacturers to make it so that the rear speakers would only play warning alarm sounds? The main reason I want rear is for the alerts, maybe some fill. So here's the funny thing. If you fade your volume, okay, so if you have a factory radio and you fade your volume to the front, then the only thing that'll come out of the rear speaker outputs is chimes and warnings. Okay, so from a factory radio, that's all that those things are designed to do. Now, in an aftermarket world, we aren't that cool because we don't get to control everything, and I don't think iData and Kenwood, whatever, and all those guys would all get on the same page to have it work like that. They just wouldn't do it. But the factory does, and that's what makes integrating into them such a pain in the ass, is because of that. But no, I don't think we're ever going to get to the point where we see something like that.
All right, so you Silverado said 14 to 18, kind of. Okay.
Yeah, that's the normal dash. That's the High 10.
This is a newer one, but thank you, Mike.
I'm putting it 15.2 in the GM. Oh yeah, he's doing the. It doesn't look ridiculous. He's doing the RVD radio in one right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it looked good because Rich did that same one at CMA, and it looked fine. I mean, it looks like the Dodge. So, 98 Grand Cherokee, I'm putting the amp where the factory would be since it didn't have the premium system. So I guess about 10 to 12 feet. I think he's answering somebody else's question. Okay. Yeah. So, last one?
Right there.
Okay. Before I answer that, hey, this last segment is going to be brought to you by the fine folks at focal-america.com. If you're looking for best-in-class speakers, you want to sound better than headphones, they make headphones. But if you want to hear what their car speakers sound like, go to focal-america.com. Okay. Are there any compact underseat powered subwoofers like the Kicker, for example, that have impressed you? No. Not at all. No. God, no.
Wow.
No, they all suck. Wow. We actually took 2 of them out today. We had to work on a van this morning, conversion van that had 2 of the JBLs, which do make like the JBL Fuse. I think it's a Fuse.
Yeah.
That actually, those actually are impressive, and you could probably fit those in that. But yeah, that'd probably be the only one that impressed me was the JBL Fuse. And it comes with like two 8s or 10s, and
you can put it
modular,
together as a one,
yeah.
or you can split it.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's probably it. You need an amp. But with that being said,
it's a lot of butts today.
They died a miserable death. So we had to take those out, and we put a 110 Rockford P3 in there. P300. Yeah, it was fantastic. I purchased a Halo 11 and started talking to the SQ community. They all like the Kenwood units. What is it about the Kenwood that makes the SQ better? In your opinion, you guys speak of them often. I don't know. Okay, first things first. The reason why the Kenwood is because the Kenwood doesn't clip. The preamp section on the Kenwood never clips.
Very
okay,
clean.
So you can turn the volume all the way up, and you have a perfectly clean signal all the way through with no clip. And it's 4 or 5 volts depending on what unit you buy. That's probably number one there. 2, there was a lot of problems with needing software updates for the Alpines in the early time frame, like when the units first came out. And like I think they're up to 6.0 something right now, so you want to check, make sure you're running that one in the software. Because like we needed a lot of software updates to get the Alpine to sound good. And so I feel that in the beginning when people were buying those, they didn't sound good. And that probably tainted the product. Okay. The other thing that most people, when they're in the store, and we have both on display, is the speed of the Kenwood is like 10 times the speed of the Alpine. It's like when you want to do something, the Kenwood is super responsive. It's like so fast and quick, and the Alpine is not. And I think that is usually the biggest thing that turns people away from that into the Kenwood. Because most people don't care about, oh, I can turn my volume all the way up and there's no distortion coming through the RCAs. Like nobody cares about that. You will, but they don't. It's just the touch and feel of the Kenwood is just more exciting, more pleasant than that of the Alpine per customer reaction. This isn't just so when Alpine listens to this and they say, "Why is Dean?" It's not me. It's them. It's literally the customer when we bring.
It's you guys.
It's pick one.
You guys are
and you touch and feel, and you touch and feel. And you go, "I like this one," and you go, "Okay, well there you go." So, and then we just repeat what our customers tell us. So, have you used the Stinger loaded enclosures? Yes, they sound fantastic. We have them all in stock. They're amazing. Okay, Houston, Texas. Who's in Houston? Is that Arturo? Is he in Texas? No.
He's in San Antonio.
He's in San Antonio, Houston, Texas.
Ooh.
I don't know if I know anybody in Houston. There's like 100,000.
Chris.
Oh, Chris Brinkley.
It's
Car Stereo Chris.
Car Stereo.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Car Stereo Chris.
Yes.
Go on Instagram and type in Car Stereo Chris.
Yeah.
He knows everybody in Texas. He used to be the Stinger rep out there. He now works for MB Court, but still, DM him, say, hey, look, I need to do this. It's Car Stereo Chris. He's been on the show before. Sound Evolution. Are they in Houston, though? Sound Evolution is in Houston. Oh, well, there you go. Sound Evolution is in Houston. So that would be who Chris would tell you to go to.
And they do a lot of custom fabrication for sure.
Very
there you
awesome.
Go. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Mike said it too. So.
Oh, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
No,
I know who they are. Yeah, no, I didn't realize they were there. But no, those guys are fantastic. Yeah.
That's the brothers. See, I like the brothers.
Who doesn't like the brothers? They're great.
I like the brothers.
They're so weird.
I know.
Okay. I'm going to turn this off. And can we hide that?
You can hide it.
Thanks. This is fantastic. Hey, listen, guys. That is the Monday show. We'd like to thank you, all of you, for asking great questions tonight. There were some bangers tonight. So thank you so much for giving us great questions in which to talk about. And that's really all that matters is when you guys ask good questions, we get a good show out of it. Yeah. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Audio Control, Arc Audio, as well as Moscone, Focal, and Clayton, who've continued to support us. And we hope you guys support them because they support us and make our lives easier and allow us to do this show with you guys. And of course, DNF Tool Drawer is a place you can find all the cool tools that we use in our installation, as well as the IRTA2. That is a 2-channel electrical RTA. as well as you can get keychains there. We have cool 5-star
Very cool
keychains.
keychains.
We still got a couple left.
Yes.
Not many. The bag is getting, it's not many.
That's fantastic.
Because you get one when you buy an IRTA2. We throw one in the box.
There you go.
So,
see?
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's the show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if you'd like to have questions answered during the week, make sure to follow us on Instagram. We'll go live. We will answer questions there, as well as talk about what's happening in the Bay. And then we'll be back Saturday for the Saturday show. And, of course, Friday morning, we'll have the news at 9 o'clock right here to tell you what's happening. We didn't do it last Friday because I had graduation, but we'll be doing it this Friday to get you all caught up on what happened out in the car stereo world.
It's a lot happening in the car stereo world.
But thank you guys so much for watching, and you have a spectacular night. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.